Welcome to Virtual Play live game development streaming. We're a small indie game company in the Netherlands, making a lot of applied games, but also working on our own entertainment games. We have big plans, including a lot of new technologies and very cool new gameplay ideas. For this stream, we'll be showing the entire process of building our new game Hatchball, which is not really technically innovative, but a mashup of pinball and collecting and caring for cute creatures. My name is Stephan, and I've been programming and making games for over 30 years. When I was very young, I already had two big passions, music and computers. So I'm basically a self-taught programmer from a time before the internet and tutorials, and just studied computer science and artificial intelligence years later. Let's get started. Hey there. So welcome back to this stream if you've been following before, and if you're new, of course, welcome, and we're glad to have you here. Building this game called Hatchball. It's a pinball and cute creature collection and caring hybrid, and yeah, it's really nice to do this. I'm starting to scale it up a little bit. I was streaming yesterday while there was really not the standard planning. I will do that. I will probably do that more often, especially in the weekends. But I'll always try to keep to my regular schedule anyway. So yeah, that's now Tuesdays, Fridays, Sundays, and we'll probably just go on for an hour every time and show you what we're doing. Well, what I'm doing, because the rest of the team is also working on this game, of course. Making art, making sound, sound maybe not yet, but we'll do that. And what I'm doing is putting everything together, showing how it's done in Unity, and showing a lot of tips of how you can do stuff in physics and UI, animations. Well, I put in a whole list on our website, so you can see that in the description. At least once this stream is over, and then yeah, going to go on all the way to the end. So let's see where we were at right now. Last time, let's see, here we go. I'm gonna get just my Git status here. This is what we did so far. You see these streaming dates. One is missing, the 9th. But that's when I forgot to commit. Ooh, really bad. Anyway, what we did, we've got a bumper, we've got a water stream, and we've got a plunger. So last time we had a plunger and a return blocker implemented. Yeah, so right now it's just, I'm going to continue. Have already opened the project. That's a little bit handier. And then everything is loaded already before I start. That's nicer. Last time I was a bit flaky on the performance. Also tweaked a little bit. My camera is also working better now. So yeah, I'm getting into this streaming thing. Right, so this is where we were at. It's quite a lot already. But yeah, like I said in the description, I'm going to go add more layers now. Well, actually use more layers because I already added them. They're over here. Balls 1, 2, obstacles 2, balls 2. And for that, last time I already created the upper plateau. That's just that. So what I'm gonna do is a variation on what I did there for the bit where the ball has to go through here, through this obstacle C, but not when it's coming from this side. So what I did is I created this layer, ball 0. That's what this thing makes the ball be in, and then this one doesn't collide with that layer. For getting the ball up there, you see, like this is the upper bit. It's really not super handy to see, but let's just turn off the main level. Then you can see it. This is the upper bit, and that's the lower bit. So that means there's a ramp here. Once the ball is somewhere over here, it needs to switch into a layer that actually collides with this. And same goes for this ramp. So what I have to do right now is make some kind of those like sensors. Let's still just keep calling them sensors. Actually gonna make sure that these things match completely. So there's never gonna be some kind of weird glitch. All right. And then after that, I'll make sure that there's a sensor that will swap the ball into the right layer. But the thing there is that if you swap the ball into a different layer and there's another ball coming from the other side, then we're going to have to make sure that they still collide. That's why I made an intermediate layer. I made a layer that's between two layers. Let's look at this one as well. Should match up with the other one. Why I'm doing this? Well, you might think I'm doing this because if the ball would be just on the edge of that while it switches, then it would like get a knock, and you don't want to do that. It get knocked into a direction that just doesn't make sense. So right now it's just gonna be that, and I'm going to make these detectors to switch layers. I'm going to make them in the main level, at least the first one. So that's in obstacles 1. So the ball is still in obstacles. Ball is still in balls 1 layer. So it collides with obstacles 1. Then this thing is going to put the ball. Let's just make this the right shape, or approximately the right shape. It really doesn't matter a lot as long as they're next to each other. So this is where the ball enters, and as soon as the ball enters there, put it a bit higher so that my pivot is right. Yeah, that's nicer. This is actually it's named Z2 in my design sheet. I'll drop that again and just rename this object node Z2. That's the sensor Z2, which is going to have, of course, also 2 bits. So I'm going to rename this here to 2A, sensor Z2A, and then can I create another one right after it, and that's going to be Z2B. I'm going to do kind of the same thing that I did before with the other switch, but then just a little bit different. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to use this this script that I had before called level transition, and I didn't finish it. I didn't even start it, I guess. No. So I'm going to put that on these two. And what it's going to do is it's going to have like an outer layer, an inner layer, and then that one will have an outer layer. So when the ball exits, when the ball exits it depends what it came from. So if the ball enters or exits, we switch to the right layer. I'll just show you by doing it because it's really hard to explain just like that. Let me see if I forgot anything last time. No, I did not. I make this list of things I think I forgot. All right. So basically, what we're gonna do is make. I'll just make sure that they have the thing on top here. Then I get nice icon there. Basically, what I'm gonna do is have these. I did start on it already. It's interesting because it didn't show there. Thank you for following. That's really nice. I hope you can learn something from this, or just which Git GUI was that? Was said here by somebody, and that was SourceTree. I've got some tutorials for SourceTree we've got some tutorials on this channel if you want to learn more about Git. What's actually getting started. So we'll make more tutorials in the near future. Let's see. I've got an outside layer, a transition layer, and then I'm gonna check where the ball is when it enters. I'm gonna check where the ball is when it exits. So what I'm going to do is I have these layer IDs now, and then I will need my on trigger enter 2D. I take away the private, that's just the way I code. Minimalistic coding. Hold on. So let's see. It needs to be okay. We've got a trigger here that it comes from the outside. If it comes from the outside layer, so we're gonna check the game object that comes in. It's always a ball. So let's just say there's a I'm gonna need the game object from the collision. So I think that's all I need, and then I will need to make sure that everything that is, I'm going to keep a list of everything that's in this collider at this moment. Let's think, is that handy? Yes. I'm going to make a list of game objects called objects. It's going to need some initialization. And then I'll, in this, once it enters here, I'm going to add that ball. So I know that that ball's in. Because what can I do then? Do you actually need that? That's for later. I've got this thing going on in my head where I want to know what I'm going to do. And I made some notes as well. That's where I'm looking at that side. I'm not going to really use it right away. But what I am going to do right away is check what layer the ball is in. And that's what I actually wanted to say. So if the ball's layer is the outside layer ID, because the layer you check is an int, that's why I converted this. This is not something you can do by yourself if you're just watching. There's an extension method I wrote there. I did that last time. So simply said, if the ball's layer when it enters is the outside layer, that means it's entered from here, from the outside. So what I'm doing is putting it into the inside. It's very simple. I'm putting it into the transition layer. Yes, that's, I think, everything I need to for the first step. So that they both do this. So if let's see, I'm gonna put the I thought I should have these outside layer, transition layer. That's very weird. Do I have two of them? Somehow Unity is not loading this. Okay, I'm gonna copy this content, see what happens if I reopen it. Weird. Now it gets loaded. That's something that I really didn't see before. So Visual Studio somehow had a copy of this file open, I don't know where, but I've reloaded it and now it's fine. At least it seems fine. Unity's compiling for the first time today, so that takes a little while longer. And now we do have those. All right, cool. I've got a warning here. Something I always do is keep this clear. So I see that this exit area here, I didn't give it a default value. I will just give it a default value of default. That's a nice C# thing. So that I will keep this warnings area always clear. That's a good programming, best like use case anyway. So back to the layers. this first thing, we've got this one coming from the outside. The ball here is still in layers balls 1, and where it goes is like something in between, and that something in between is balls 1, 2. Why do I have that? For instance, if the ball comes in here and I would immediately put it into layer 2, and the other ball comes from that side, I would immediately put it into layer 1, and they would like pass each other here, then they would not collide. Because balls of layer 1 and 2 should not collide, because, well, if they're here, they should definitely not be colliding. So some ball from layer 2 is going here, and a ball of layer 1 is just going here, then they should definitely not collide, but in here they should. So that's why I make this in-between layer. So this is actually just a lot of tricks to make sure that this 3D gameplay, well, actually it's layered 2D gameplay, is possible with only 2D physics. So from here it enters, it gets into balls 1, 2. And then if you are in balls 1, 2 and you enter this one, that means you're not, hold on, what? Here. You're not in the outside layer, the ball that enters. So that won't happen there. For this one, the outside layer is actually balls 2. And the transition layer is the same as the other one, 1, 2. So we got this thing won't do anything because it enters not from the outside layer. What I'm interested in is when it exits. So when a ball exits, this little bit of logic, on trigger exit 2D, I'm actually going to do the same thing. Let's see, and this is for later. I'll just still do that. Remove the ball from my objects collection. That's just something I want to use in another transition, level transition thingy. And if it exits, I want to do the opposite thing. So I want to do from transition to outside layer. So what happens? Ball is in. I can maybe hopefully show it. Oh, I can definitely show it frame by frame. Ball would be here, and if it's here, it's in balls 2 because it's in the that's the upper layer. If it comes down here, yes, it will come in here. And right now, I'm thinking it's something didn't happen yet. It should have triggered. There's a trigger. There's level transition, and that's what it is. This one should be in obstacles 2, so that it actually collides with the ball there. So now, what I did, this one actually doesn't belong to the main level. It belongs to the upper plateau. So I'm gonna move it there as well. It's in obstacles 2. So I'll actually say obstacles 2 here for my own reference. Obstacles G. 1. Right. So I've got this one in layer 1, that one in layer 2. And now I can actually, I'm not showing my key presses and stuff. Forgot that. Now I am. There they are. Right. So now you can see this thing. It's in balls 2. And once it enters that, here you go. You see it's in balls 1, 2. There. Now, just a few frames later, it's in balls 1, 2. It enters the other one. Nothing happens because that's still ball 1, 2. And now, oh, hold on. It exits that one and says balls 2. Yeah, that's actually not correct. How did I think of this before? Now I remember what I do. What I figured out for the yes, there's one bit of logic that I'm missing here. That is that, of course, if it exits from that side or that side, you need to know. And that's what I did here as well. I made a reference from this sensor to the other sensor, the exit area. So in the transition thing, I want to actually make a reference to the other, the other level transition object, other sensor. And gonna make it available. And all right, object add ball, object remove ball. And why am I doing this? Because in this case, I want to actually check if it is actually in only this sensor. If it's also in the other sensor, then it's going from one sensor to another. So then you don't do that. Hold on, I see myself making a little bit of a mistake. Well, not really a mistake, but so now I need to have some kind of function that says if the ball is in there, so like has ball. Yeah. So to make clear what happens here, I'm gonna put some comments here. So this one means coming from the outside, and then this means it's rolling out of this sensor, and this check is to see if it's actually rolling to outside direction. Instead of the direction of the opposite sensor. So the only thing I have to add now is the has ball. Okay, object ball. And then it returns. Oh, I can do that even quicker in C#. Objects contains ball. Is a quick way of writing and I really love this kind of notation. It's a quick way of writing that with a lot of lines. So I'll just keep that near my objects. And actually, as its objects are only balls, I'm just going to rename this as well. That makes more sense. Okay, so I'm keeping a list of balls to make sure that once it goes from one into another. Oh, hold on. What did I do wrong? Oh, duh. Void. If the other sensor has it, and then I can check. Let's see. Now it should work. So what happens now is that if I do the same thing again, I'll show you frame by frame. The ball is in balls 2. This clicking thing shows you how many clicks I did. Now it's in balls 1, 2, and then once it goes into the other one, you see here it's still in balls 1, 2 because it exited. It's exiting. Hold on, sorry, it's not exiting yet. Right now it's exiting. Ah, other sensor. I did not set that yet. Okay, duh. I was dragging this. Oh, this is the same thing I had to. There we go. That one has the other one set, and this one has the other one set. So now they know of each other's existence, and now they can actually reference each other. Let's see. Right, here we go again. Balls in layer 1, 2, transition layer. And now it's still there. And now it's going to exit that one, and it's still in 1, 2. So now it works. And once it exits this one, it's going to be in balls 1. Yes, there it goes, balls 1. Which makes me think that the collision here, oh, it's the right. Oh, then my line renderer is just a little bit larger than the object itself. Is that true? Huh, strange that it exits already. Well, doesn't really matter. It's not that exact. It does work now, so that's nice. I can just see how that works, but only when I also fix it on that side, because otherwise it might get just stuck down here. I'll make the other sensor. What did we call it in our game design document? It's Z3. I'm gonna copy both those, and put them over there. Same difference, but then Z3A and Z3B. Z3B. And then they know of each other. Yes, that got copied along with it, so that's really nice. And then the only thing I need to do is make a little bit of tweaks to their shape, but not even that much. So that's pretty cool. And this system can be used by anyone who's going to build levels in the future, which is also pretty neat. I can make a nice little prefab out of this. Maybe not yet. Yeah. The thing about that prefab is that it would have to refer, they still have to refer to each other, so it's a little bit less. The event system, I didn't put that outside of the, oh, I put some other stuff outside of there. All right. So it looks clean. Everything looks clean. Only that one is not going all the way over there yet. Like it's in here, there's this tunnel. If you enter the ball at enough speed, then it will come out there. And the real speed needed to really get there is too much. So we will help the ball by teleporting it from there to there. We'll just do that in a minute. Right now I'm just gonna see if this works, this layer transition thing. Yeah. Boom. Come on. I'm still getting a sense that this scale is not really nice yet. I'm gonna see about that next time when I check the size of our actual real life pinball table that I built with a screen in there. And I'll just resize everything. Okay, here we go. Ah, yes, you see that it rolls on the edge that was not something that it hit before. So that's really working. I'm really a lousy player, I guess. I wanted to get it in there, but no. Ah. All right, I have to get used to this. All right, so this kind of testing is awkward. I just want to know if that thing works. Well, I need to tweak the size and everything. I'm just right now gonna do it this way. Put the ball in there, it's in balls 2, so it will roll down over this edge if everything works as it's supposed to. Yes, and then it goes down and it'll then be in the right layer too. Yes, nice. Be colliding with the other stuff again. All right, so that layer transition stuff works now. All right, now the teleport here. Let's do that one. Gonna be a little bit different. I'll put the ball ready for that. Though actually, can I reach it from there? I should be able to, but maybe this one is the handiest to try to reach it from. Like that. All right. So what I'm going to do here is do a same kind of thing, but then with a little different approach. There's a sensor here, but I don't want it to roll back. So it's kind of like you could think of it as this uphill thing. That's why I already made this blocker. That one will actually, this needs an extra layer. Yes, because over here there's no collision 0. No collision 0 only collides with balls in layer 1. Oh, actually could do, let's think if that's going to work. If I make no collision 0 also collide with balls 2, will I have a problem? Maybe even balls 3, so that it works in the future. So the thing is, we have this special layer that I'm just going to rename now. Balls 0 is through block, and it's not only plunger lane anymore. So here we use it because it has to go through this thing, and once it's back in layer 1, it will still collide with that thing. And this thing is in a special layer that collides with all the ball layers, but not with layer 0. So I could do the same thing here. So that goes through here, and once it's through, it will actually, yes, that's nice. It will actually have the same kind of setup as here. So I'm going to copy these two, and these will actually go into the second one, obstacles 2, and I'll put them over one another and then edit the shapes so that they will correspond to this particular one. Don't need that point. Right. So same thing happens here that we did last time. If the ball comes out of there and it goes into this shape, that shape, then it will actually put the ball back. And now I have to do, I think, what I did here, hopefully as well. This has to be at a distance that the ball could never like get into that layer without already being outside of the obstacle, because then it can get launched in there. Let's see. I did not really do that. Did I? Oh, yeah, I did. Of course, because I do like an exit. So if it exits this thing, it needs to be in there. All right. So that's a little bit of crap what I just said. This thing has to be low enough. That's the thing. All right. Then it needs to be in there once it exits this, and then it's all fine, because then it knows that it's actually exiting from the obstacle, and it can put it back into the normal layer. This thing should then be no collision 0. Ball is in layer 0, which collides. That's the only other issue. Balls 0 should collide with obstacles 2 as well then. And I'm just going to check if that's an option here. There's no... Okay, so important thing then is that if we use this system, then the ball should just be changing layer over here, because then otherwise we might get into trouble if we want to overlap something over the plunger lane in the future. So we should note, I'm going to note that in my design docs, never overlap with one-way blocker. If this becomes an issue, then I will actually have to change this whole system and come up with something else. Well, that probably requires more layers, so I really don't like that, so I'm hoping that it doesn't need that. Oh, I made another point again. Alright, so I changed this logic now into being a little bit more simple. Ball enters this, gets into the layer that has it come through this thing. Once it exits this one, then it will go into the layer that will never let it go back, because it knows it has to come from that one on that side. It's a little bit complex maybe, but it's not that bad. Let's see. So right now there's this blocker activator that after layer is balls 2, and the exit area is 7B. Well, it needs to be renamed. I think this is, if this is, what was it? Z6. So that will be C6A. And then those two will be Z6B and C. That polygon drawer, hello Pete, by the way, that polygon drawer is not a default Unity component. I wrote that myself. It's simply, what it does, I can show you, it adds the simple on draw gizmos that goes through all the polygons and draws them in the scene view. And then what it also does is it creates here, and that's quite a lot of stuff to do. It creates a line renderer as a child object. I just wrote this for this project because for an earlier project where I used this kind of 2D physics to prototype everything, because you want to test this stuff out before you actually go make the models, because otherwise you're spending a lot of time on making models that don't have the right shape yet. And well, for some titles, big titles, that might be nice to just have lots of different versions, but for these indie kind of things, it's really not that handy, because we don't have a lot of time, we don't have any funding to make this game, so it's just it has to come from all of our own time. So we want to do everything as efficient as possible. Right, so this one is a different kind of, let's see, it's a different kind of level transition. So we had the outside layer and transition layer. I think I might just use the same thing, but then with a separate thing called like is teleporter. Do I need to make it know that? I just need to know, it just needs a destination. If there is a destination, then it is a teleporter. So I actually need, the only thing I need is a transform. Teleport to. Oh, sometimes I write null, sometimes I write default. It's kind of exactly the same in this case. Right, so I have updated the names, but not the nodes yet. I should maybe make a new version of object nodes that would also just directly use the name of the object, something like that. Well, that's for later. And then this is 6C. Right, now they have the right labels there. I actually am wondering, why did I not? It's all those sensors, huh? Yes, let's see. Oh, I can't do multi-object anything there. I always want the nodes to be, yes, to have white text, and I have to make the background a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna do this because I want everything to be good here. And this is why I should have made a sensor prefab, even though it does have a little bit different stuff. Some of that is still shared. For instance, the color. Well, this is just for design, but it's still nice to work with. All right. Yes, now it's actually a lot better. I can now actually see it there. My mouse is lagging and lagging more and more. What's happening here? Let's see. Huh. Well, don't know. It's probably just graphics. All right. Just gonna live with it. Oh, wait, that's better. Let's see. This logic, it has to teleport to. I made that, so it has to teleport to some transform over there. I'll make a empty, and that will be the exit, the empty object exit. So over there. Then I wanted to have a direction. Let's do that with an object as well, so I can draw a nice gizmo. Velocity, no, direction end, and that will be over there somewhere. So what I can do here is, now I don't see these objects, which is not really a big problem because I'm just using them as references for this sensor, but I want to actually make that draw into like nice little gizmo. Right, so yes, look at the time. I'm not gonna get to everything I wanted to, but yeah. Yes, I will draw a gizmo for the teleporter when it is a teleporter. So if teleport 2 is a thing, is an object, it's not null, then I will draw a gizmo. Just a color to, let's say, magenta. And then I will, let's think, the exit area will need to have like a ball where it gets to. So that's a wire sphere. Draw a wire sphere at the teleport to position with a, I have no idea what size the ball was again. I think it's a bit bigger than that. Well, doesn't really matter a lot yet. And then if there's an end ball direction, and I have to make that still, and then I will actually draw a line from teleport to position to the ball direction end position, which I don't have yet. I'll just make that first. So there's teleport to, and there's another transform, ball direction end. All right. I want it to be an arrow, so I'll just draw a little. Oh, let's think. I want it to be the same color? Probably not. White. I guess because I want to first draw before the arrow where it like goes to. I want to draw this line from the position that it enters, so the actual position of the object, to the teleport to position. Then I've got a magenta thingy with a line to where it exits, and then a white line from the exit until where the direction it goes to. I want to make that into a nice arrow. Well, how do I draw an arrow? It's from that position and to that position. That position plus a rotated version of the thing that goes back. Let's say that's, if it goes back, it's teleport to position minus pull direction end position, that thing, and it needs to be rotated, and it needs to have a length of 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, and this thingy needs to be rotated. So I'm gonna just make a quaternion dot yes, I want to rotate it over the z-axis. And how much do I want to rotate it? Like say 30 degrees. So just making some extra. Okay, so I'm making taking a lot of time to do all this, but if I'm correct, I should have drawn a little arrow here now. So I'm putting in teleport to exit, and then you see that thing coming there. And if it, oh, hold on, that thing always needs to be there also when it doesn't have a direction end. Yes. So now there's going to be a line from here to there. You see it teleports from this thing to there. And then if I put direction end in there, I should have a nice arrow. Yes, it's a nice arrow. And you can see direction end. If I move that, it will still have a nice little arrow. So why am I using these? If I teleport there, I want it to go in that direction. And I want to actually see that here. But just like with these object nodes, I like to visualize all this, especially when other like designers who are maybe, or even artists who are maybe not the programmers, can still see what they're building. And anyone can actually build a pinball level in this way and then add art after. Right, so now I'm just gonna have to do that logic bit, finish that logic bit. If the, I didn't even build any logic here yet. Okay, so it's not finishing, you can see just starting it. If it enters and it is a teleporter, yeah, it should still, it could still check because it still needs to go to a different layer. And then after that, if it's a teleporter, then it will teleport the ball. So ball dot transform dot position will be the teleport to position. Actually thinking that's not good. I want the rigid body to what rigid body? The rigid body of the colliding object, attached rigid body, because otherwise something might go wrong with the physics. And then also, I don't need to stop it there. No. If the ball direction end is set, then I also need to change its velocity direction. Same thing, I'm gonna of course do that with the rigid body, and that will need to be the direction. So ball direction end position minus the teleport to the position. This needs to be normalized, and then I need to know what how fast it's going to come out. Do I actually want to have it keep its velocity in this case? No, I don't think so. I'm going to multiply this by some velocity exit velocity. So if there's a ball direction end, there also needs to be a this actually belongs with this group, serialize field float exit velocity. Default doesn't go here. Let's just say it's, I don't know. I don't want it to go that fast, but it still needs to come out pretty quickly. Let's say 15 or something. So it goes from here to there, sets its velocity to 15 in that direction. That's what it's gonna do, hopefully. So I'm gonna test. Hopefully I can do this with my pinball skills. Oh, no. There it goes already. What's the best way to test this? Oh, that thing doesn't work yet. What? Balls 1. It did collide with that. And then it just hit this thing here, which is a trigger. And it's the layer changer to 0. Why did it hit that? That is extremely strange. All right. It doesn't hit. Whoa. Hold on, what's going on here? It is in ball 0. That's fine. Ball 0 should still be colliding with these things. That's absurd. It did work before. I didn't say it needs to exit, right? No. Enter. This is so strange. Let me just put it a little lower and see what happens. Weird stuff. It just stops there. Same position, by the way. That's super strange. What am I missing here? Ball 0, rigid body. It's rotated quite a lot, but meh. It's got contacts with the boundaries. Ta-dum. Something super strange is going on here, and I really don't know this. Balls in layer, balls 0. What did I change in the physics settings? Let's see. Balls 0 collides with obstacles 0, obstacles 2, balls, yeah, obstacles 3, and no collision 0 collides with balls 1, balls 2, and balls 3. And balls 0 collides with balls 0. And that's it. So there's really no reason for it to stop over there. I'm kind of stumped here. To try to pause it. It goes into ball 0 here. And there it stops. Super weird. It doesn't really stop, it falls back down this time. That's even weirder. And now it's stopping over there. And now it's doing that again. Okay, something completely absurd is happening here now, for which I am actually going to close Unity and start it back up, just to see if something really strange is going on, or was going on. But physics was really messed up. Otherwise, I'll just check it out and let you guys know on Tuesday what was happening here, but something very strange. So if this is reproducible, it is. How absurd. And also over there. That's so strange. It depends on how hard I launch it, where it stops. All right, I'm gonna look into this. I don't think I can fix that right now. What I can do is just place the ball there. Oh, it's also slow. I wish I had more rigs to work on, I guess. Let's see. It will enter there and then get teleported the next frame. I'll just put it all the way in there, so I'm really sure that it's going to happen. Let's just see if it wants to do this at least. Right. Yes, it does get teleported and gets the same direction. I did not have it put into right layer yet. I do today because it really doesn't make sense, all of that. It needs to, yes, I don't have a transition layer. That outside layer is balls 1 and it goes into balls 2 actually. So yes, did I set that? I set that to yeah, it still goes into the transition layer when it's coming from the outside. All right, so that is actually working. From there it teleports to the teleport. Whoop. Oh, it should go into balls 0, not into balls 2. Only after that little bit it should go into balls 2. Balls 0. Sorry, hold on. The teleporter. Balls 0. Hold on. Okay, I'm too tired, I guess. I don't want to change that into ball 0. I want to change where it goes to. It goes to balls 0. Need to turn off balls 2. This is not my best session, I guess. I don't know what happened with Unity there. And also this, oh, so slow mouse. All right, now it goes through. It does not go through. All right, well, that settles it. I'm gonna call it a day. No collision, 0. The ball goes into 0, and still something weird happening with the physics here. No collision, 0 does not collide with ball 0. Of course it doesn't. I'll look into this when I'm more there. However, the logic of the transporter is done. This logic is done, however, it doesn't work yet, but let's just say there's a little bug I need to find, and I'm really not sure if it's in Unity or if it's something I did wrong. If you see anything, of course, let me know. That's the wrong one. I wanted to move the ball. Yeah, performance is bad. I'm going to look into that because it was doing pretty well the first session. So, oh, this is actually running pretty solid now. Weird. Yeah, just the state we're in now. Ball rolling, we got flippers, we got 2 levels. That's just what's going wrong now. So weird. Boom. Alright, I'll look into it. I'll come back on this on Tuesday evening. Yeah, just committing. Ooh, everything is slow, it's not just Unity. Well, there we go. And the thing that I did was adds level transitions. Right. And I'm gonna push it, and that's it. Well, it's not it wasn't that fruitful, but I still think it was nice to do this because now we got our multi-layer thing, and we saw that the first one actually works. So it's still quite a lot. So got a bit further, and yeah, we'll continue on Tuesday, same time, same place. I would like to say. Actually, yeah, I'm going to out of the stream. I'm just going to see what's going on here. If I find it, then I will actually tell in stream how I find it as well, because that's a nice thing to see. But it might take a little long for the stream to be exciting enough. So I will do all that kind of debugging just outside of the stream. Then I will also, of course, I will tell you what kind of like reasoning I used to find the problem. But for now, I'll just go back to my students who have an exam tomorrow. I have to finish a little bit for that. And yeah, that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Please drop a like because it's always nice for the YouTube algorithms to know that you guys like it. Yeah, and also subscribe, follow, whatever you can, and always consider the Patreon thing. It's really nice. Yeah, thank you for watching again, and I'll see hopefully see you all on Tuesday.